Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and we're back for our weekly deck series with our Abzan... Nope. Nope, yep, there we go. Abzan Midrange list. So without further ado, let's get into the games, and I'll see you there. On the draw with a 3-lander and a Paradise Druid and Growth Chamber Guardians, I can take this hand. There's nothing actually wrong with it, to be honest, so yeah, let's go for it. It's a blue deck. Okay, well, an early Growth Chamber Guardian, if it's mono blue tempo, is pretty good a lot of the time. It's not mono blue. It looks like some sort of Nexus list, though. Okay. If we're running against Nexus, how do we want to do this? I guess we just want to get some early game damage in with Growth Chamber Guardian. I'm thinking we just want to naturally work our way to a Ketra. Opponent graveyards the Growth Spiral, which says to me they don't have more than one land in hand. So that's interesting to know. Okay, well, let's just swing for 4. Get that pressure going. Sooner the better. We want to put our opponent on root snaring as early as possible, so ramping into Paradise Druids not necessarily going to help us there. He gets in the Ketra, but that's setting up an engine that we might not be able to actually make good use out of. There's Wilderness Wreck, and we could be dead next turn. These days, though, not so much. They have to get down to about 30 cards before you do usually just lose on the spot, but it's pretty close. Alright, so we swing for 4. And now, because we went with the Growth Chamber, now we get to go with Paradise Druid into Growth Chamber. 8 power on board. We've got a 2-turn clock on them, so they need to beat us in 2 of our turns. Obviously excluding theirs. We have Ravenous Chupacabra if they play any creatures. That's a thing. That's a thing right there. Alright, they got a lot of mana. Oh boy. We have a Chupacabra though. But we might just die. Let's see what their plan is. There's Nexus of Fate. I've not actually seen Nissa in a Nexus deck, but or a Wilderness Reclamation deck either. It seems like it's pretty good though. I can get behind that. Okay. 2 cards in hand. Plays a land for the turn. That's not good for them. They need Nexus in their hand right now.
Nature's true power.
Wilderness Wreck will not do it. Okay. And swinging in. They do have Vigilance, so they can absolutely go ahead and do that. So how do we want to do this? We can choop one of the lands, but then we don't really get a decent swing, except for we get to trade off a forest as they protect their Nissa. So I'm thinking about setting up like a finality to keep the Growth Chamber Guardian around to pick off Nissa, and I'd really like to get as many lands as possible with that finality if I can help it. That's going to be really nice for me. Resplendent Angel's not the worst because we can go over the top. Ketra blocks the lands quite nicely as well. Let's see if they want to protect their Nissa. Let's swing for 4. Yeah, we got a double block, so let's take out the breeding pool. Okay. I'll just set up an Ketra. Land go. I should have played the Overgrown Tomb there. Never mind. Narset's Reversal. Oh boy. So we can finality 2 lands here, and then get a decent attack on Nissa. So, finality. Take action. Put counters on a Ketra. Everything gets -4/-4. So we swing for 2. Keep Nissa off of ulting. We use the tube to kill the next land. They do have a flipped Search for Azcanta now, though. Didn't really consider that.
Rise, my elemental.
And an Narset. Oh boy. Yeah, this is getting out of hand. How far are they into their deck? 43. They find an Opt. Okay. So Azcanta gets to trigger a few times. I think with 2 Reclamations and an Azcanta we just lose. Chemisters. I think it's very unlikely that Azcanta doesn't hit Nexus of Fate and give him an extra turn. Oh wow. Did they just forget their... I think they forgot their end step stop. So we get to Ravenous Choop the forest. They dig for a fog. And we get to threaten their planeswalkers. We don't have lethal just yet, unfortunately. We can only swing for 10. Let's do it. Let's kill Nissa. I'll try to, at least. She's the big bad. Oh, they found it, you lucky sod. Oh, now we lose. Now we cannot win. There's Nexus of Fate. Take an extra turn.
The land shall conquer you.
Make many, many lands. They can basically take infinite turns to make their islands indestructible and things like that, and they'll eventually get through all of my blockers just on mass alone. So that's the game over. Like, they do have Nissa here getting ultimated. So I'm just gonna throw it on back, I think. And go to game number 2. I mean, maybe they forget their end step stop, but I don't think they'll forget it twice. Float 2. Float 3, actually. Yeah, so that's a Nexus of Fate with a float 3 to untap to Azcanta to go find another one. We'll make him play it out. As soon as they get to the point where they can't lose, which I think they're already there, to be perfectly honest, but once it's very obvious that we can't win, I'll scoop it up. But, I mean, I can technically win through a Nissa ult, I think, if they can't find their Nexuses in time. 36 cards, though, and they're thinning out all of their lands, so it's hard to see how they could possibly lose. Because, yeah, they get to that lucky number 30.
The land fights for us.
Ticks up. No floating mana. And, yeah, it looks like they've got themselves a guaranteed Nexus. And they get to keep their Nissa around to keep animating all of their lands.
I have just the trick for
Narset ticks down. Finds Tamio, and that's enough for me. Alright, concede. An interesting Nexus deck. I know the word interesting doesn't really apply to most Nexus decks to most people, but I kind of enjoy it. So, very interested to see that little build. I might build one version myself, to be honest. We definitely want Night of Autumn. D-Spark seems great for both Wilderness Reclamation and Nissa. Duresses, of course, are coming in. Elder Spell seems like how they win, so let's just murderize all of them. And start going down things. I don't think Midnight Reapers are particularly good with Narset, so let's cut them out. And I'm not sure, like, extreme card draw is really what I'm looking for. They're not going to be wiping my board too much, I wouldn't imagine. So the same kind of deal goes with some of our top-end stuff. Liliana, not great. It's not going to do much, I don't think, by the time she's being cast. I I think I like my early game creature plan. Nicholas's Cruelty. I think I can just rely on the Chupacabras to get the job done there. 3 more cards to cut. Storev, because he's very late game, and this is not going to a late game. We have so many answers to Wilderness Reclamation, though. It's hard to see them actually winning a long game against us. I think I can just trim the top end, to be honest, and just go really nice and low to the ground. Keep all of my answers to Wilderness Reclamation close to my chest, and yeah, just run it like that. There's so much hate against their deck in my sideboard, just naturally. I think games 2 and 3 are in our favour. Alright, on the play is also a really good place to start. A 1-lander, though, is as close to a nightmare scenario as I could possibly imagine. And this actually looks like a really good hand. We've got turn 1 Duress, turn 2 Paradise Druid, working up to a turn 4 Ketra. I think I'll bottom the land. I'm sure I'll get lucky enough anyway. So life total is not particularly relevant, so I'm happy to shock myself here just to see what they've got. Narset's Reversal. Do we just take Nissa? This hand does nothing without it. Yeah, let's just take Nissa. That means that they need to actually either top deck or find another win condition. So we kind of got that going for us. This hand doesn't really have anything I care to duress right now, but Narset's Reversal wouldn't really do anything, actually. So we could get a Narset's Reversal out of them by duressing next turn. Actually, that doesn't work the way I think it does it? It's basically a counterspell. Yeah, let's get the duress in there now. Take Narset. And they're basically just out of steam at this point. Yeah, this bounces it back to your hand, and then they get to cast the spell that you cast against them. So my duress would go back to my hand, and their copied duress would then take mine. So it's basically a counterspell for discard. Should also bear in mind as well that Tamiyo is a pretty bad card for us as far as our discard spells are concerned. We only have the 4 duresses though, so it's not the end of the world, but she does actually prevent players from forcing them to discard. So let's get in for a whopping 8 damage. Sadly, can't present lethal next turn, but we can get pretty damn close and force them into fogging every turn. It should mean that they have a hard time actually resolving anything meaningful. There's Tamiyo. She does need to die.
Your talents are worth cataloging.
Because what she can do is minus and grab back the worst of the worst.
Holds our future.
So we got a finality for the blockers next turn. So let's just kill Tamiyo, hit face while they don't have the fog open.
I will not stand for such violence.
Put them to 4, and finality unfortunately only deals 2 for us. After we kill the land that Nissa makes, but they're forced to chump block with every land until the end of time.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
So that can be kind of difficult for them. I really didn't want to see in the land there. I wanted to push the advantage. Alright, well. Swing up face. They're forced to block Ketra and get 2 through. And that's how we present lethal. A single land is not going to do it anymore. I suppose like Tamiyo into Root Snare could be pretty bad for us though.
Behold, nature's true power.
Or just even a top-decked Root Snare. Nexus of Fate, okay. That helps them stabilize. They can get another creature now, so they can block the Paradise Druid. But we do have the finality to wipe their creatures away. And Ketra deals the 2 damage now, so if they don't get a fog off of Narset here. Well, actually, is Narset's Reversal's pretty bad for us, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. And they've got an ulted Nissa now. Oh, God. So they reverse finality and then they put the counters on their breeding pool instead so that it survives. And then our Ketra doesn't do anything. That's so tilting. Oh, God. Maybe I can try going wide here. It's definitely a possibility. They've got the ulted Nissa, so it could be troublesome, but we have Growth Chamber Guardian into Adapt into Growth Chamber Guardian, so we're going wide. Hopefully that means that my opponent's defenses don't matter, and we can still get in our opponent's face and force a block. Taking a land out of play. Got Chemisters, okay. Could find a fog here to save their land, but not today. Alright, so it's literally fog until the end of time now. Blast Zone. Can't hit my Eternals. Can hit my Growth Chamber Guardians, though.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Upticks on a land. Narset can tick down as well. To go find some goodies. Just the Chemisters dig. I think they're looking for a fog.
Keep an open
They
mind.
absolutely need one to live. Wilderness Reclamation. That could win them the game. Let's see if they start floating mana. Yeah, they've got at least the Chemisters on end step. But Nexus of Fate. Oh dear. Okay, take an extra turn. There's still room for fizzling. Narset can't tick down again. Can't believe Narset's reversal's going to win them the game effectively.
Behold, nature's true
That's so
power.
rude. Okay, breeding pool. We still threaten lethal. Even now. So they need fog or nexus. Tamio is a fog.
The moon looks intriguing tonight.
Ah, that's such a rough one. Oh, ticks up.
I know I noted this somewhere.
That's a risky line I don't think he needed to take. Nexus of Fate whiffs. Oh, they've even got Lazotep plating. Interesting. Memorial to draw 2. Yeah, I don't think they needed to take that line. They could just minus... Oh, there is no fog in the yard. I thought there was a fog there. Oh, my bad. Never mind, it was the best play they could have made. End step on taps. Yeah, as we mentioned, it's fog or bust. Growth Spiral. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have Nexus mana. Chemisters. 2, 4, 5. They only have fog mana now. They've got an upkeep stop on me and they scoop it up. Wow. That was really close. Really close indeed. The early game duresses there, I think, saved our ass, to be honest. We never found the Elder Spell or the D-Spark. They would have also been quite nice as well. But yeah, like, we were a fine finality off of victory there, but our opponent with the Narset's reversal, very clutch in the end. The good thing about Narset's reversal for us particularly is, like, D-Spark doesn't always hit anything. The vast majority of our deck is actually 3 or less. Same goes for the Elder Spell. We're only really running Sorin at the moment. So if they reverse that, it's just not going to do too much. But yeah. Yeah, let's run it back. I think the only thing that could be used against us is Duress and D-Spark. And our opponent deciding that this is not their matchup. Oh, that's such a shame. I was actually really digging that matchup. I think we were going to win Game 3, but I would have liked to have seen it all the same. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe as well for some more content in the future. Abzan Midrange is a lot of fun, so be sure to check out the deck down below as well if you want to build it yourself. Other than that, guys, hit that bell icon so you get notifications when I go live in the future, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Ooh, we get to choose. I'm going to be on the play. Surprise there. Turn 2, turn 3, maybe? Or turn 4. And decent mana. Yep, we're going to keep this hand. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this one. So let's lead off with, I guess, the Overgrown Tomb. Since we've got a black and green hand here anyway. Probably going to go Swamp so I don't have to shock myself. Watery Grave. Alright then. That's a surprise to nobody. Alright. Knight of Malice. So that there. Turn 3 to Fairy. Can't bounce this Knight of Grace. Yep. Fun, fun, fun. Alright, let's do, I'm thinking maybe Midnight Reaper, actually. Want to get it down there so that when we eventually get wrathed, we can draw cards from all of our creatures that we lose. And looks like we're just getting mortified. Oh, look, it's Teferi.
I am not going to sit this one out.
Yep, there he goes, bouncing again. But Knight of Malice, here to save the day and my sanity. Let's kill Teferi.
It's only a matter of time.
And Midnight Reaper as well for that board wipe. And tap land go. Next time we have a Ketra, which is pretty good. Might win us the game, honestly. We'll have to see. Because we're swinging for 5 minimum here. And I'm assuming... Ooh, Kasmina?
Listen up, my students are
That
loyal
is
geniuses.
not what I expected. But we can actually choop the wizard token, because I believe spells your opponents cast. Yeah, so not triggers, abilities, or anything like that. So, yep, we can choop without extra cost and kill the wizard token and kill Kasmina in the process? Yes, we can. Hell yeah. Opponent dumping the Thought Razor, because they have too many in hand, probably. Get out of here. And tap lands, start swinging. Pressure's on.
My schemes are ruined.
So this is more like Esper Midrange, I guess? Or maybe it's just Esper Control that's running a Kasmina, because they can't play the full net deck. Also, possibly the case. Tap lands, Narset. Okay.
My prowess is the thought.
That's dead, and we hit them for 4. Down to 10. Let's see if they manage to find the board wipe. I'm guessing that's what they're digging for. Oath of Kaya. Okay. Well. 3 to Narset. 4 to our opponent.
I was not prepared for
Play a
this.
Ketra. And land and go. We know they don't have a board wipe because they would have fired one off already. If they have a board wipe, we're drawing 4 cards anyway. And a Ketra is getting redrawn. Not that we needed to, actually, because we already have one in hand. So, we'll probably send this one to the graveyard if it does end up dying. Oath of Kaya gets to hit Midnight Reaper, I guess, and draw as a card that way. Alright, it's a Fairy Time Raveler.
My excellent fight.
Bounces a
I've done
Ketra.
hero things.
To the surprise of nobody. And do we have some white mana here so that we can Oath of Kaya, or are we... Moment of Craving, ooh, with new art. Or new animations, should I say. That looks like a prep for a board wipe, honestly, if I've ever seen one. Could go Vivian Reed, since we think they've got a board wipe. Alternatively, I could do God Eternal Ketra and Growth Chamber Guardian and make a 4/4. But, yeah, if I think they're gonna wipe the board, then I definitely want to be just adding a Planeswalker instead.
We will meet again.
And keeping the card advantage going.
And I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Oh, that would have been really nice if we could play it this turn. I think I'm still gonna take it though. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I like it. And yeah, I think because we got Vivian out, I don't mind actually playing a Growth Chamber Guardian here. If they've got the Wrath, then sure. Going down to 7 for a Kai's Wrath. Alright. Yeah, because we're just following up right nicely here with a Ketra.
Meet my newest friend.
Storev is not bad. Probably dies though, I've got to imagine. Maybe I take the land. 3 for 5 plus... Yeah, if I take the land, I can actually go a Ketra Midnight Reaper. Draw a card off of that Oath of Kaya that they're gonna fire off on us. I think I'm fine with that. So, yep. A Ketra, Midnight Reaper, make a 4/4. And threatening lethal again. They go land, and they've got an Oath of Kaya and Midnight Reaper to gain, was it 3? Yeah, gain 3, so they're going up to 10. We've got 6 and 4, so we're still presenting lethal. They have to get rid of 2 creatures here. And they still have to worry about a Vivian as well, who is 2 turns off of an ult. So they've got a lot to work on here. If it's a Wrath, we're drawing 2 cards. And we don't even want our Ketra back either, because we've got the one in hand. Which we can go a Ketra, Paradise Druid, make another 4/4, and again threaten lethal. Yep. Alright, get out of here. Sweet. Guess what deck I hate the most and have then therefore built my deck around. Alright, let's bring in the Duresses for obvious reasons. We're playing against control, so controlling is what we do. We can bring in the Elder Spell because we know they have Kasmina, Teferi, and Narset as well, so that's 3 different targets that Elder Spell can hit. So I'm not too against doing that. Night of Autumn could be reasonable, but I'm assuming it's probably not going to be. And we'll bring in Carnage Tyrant as well, because it's not something that can be interacted with. Now, the cards that we want to remove from our deck. As I mentioned, I think Night of Autumn is probably a little bit weak. So let's bring that out. 6 more cards to go. Jeez. We could cut maybe one a Ketra, possibly. Yeah, cut one a Ketra. I don't really want to cut down on too many of my removal sources, but I think I can get rid of an Obnixilus' Cruelty. We've got to worry about Thief of Sanity coming in from the sideboard and Lyras and things like that, but I think Chup can deal with that just fine anyway. We can get a turn 3 Chup with a Paradise Druid, so pretty nice there. 4 more cards to go. I think Liliana's probably very low impact, sadly, and we're already adding in Carnage Tyrants as well, so we can keep our curve exactly as it is intended by just cutting out something on the same line there. I think Storev is probably not as good as Fine Finality will be. And we've got to cut 1 more card. It could just be Find, honestly, but I'm not sure on that one. Maybe it's Resplendent Angel. That seems like it's going to struggle a little bit. Yeah, let's run it like that. Nice trim here and there, getting the chaff out of our deck. And adding in some annoying pieces for our opponent to deal with. That's all I want to do to Esper Control, is irritate them beyond belief. Alright. We have a turn 2 Duress or Growth Chamber Guardian. Not ideal, but I think I can take it. We can go with the Isolate Chapel on turn 1 anyway, since we have nothing to do. And then decide whether or not we want to Duress or Growth Chamber at that point. I like the Carnage Tyrant in our hand as well. It's going to basically demand that our opponent has a board wipe, because they can't bounce it with Teferi. Tap land for our opponent, so do we want to press the advantage here? I think we don't. because our opponent could just have turn 3 to Fairy, which is very annoying, and we currently don't have an answer to it. And they do indeed have turn 3 to Fairy. So, get out. Okay. Go away, I guess. Screw you, Esper Control. Screw you. Alright guys, well that's gonna do it for today's episode. I might actually stitch this onto the end of another video, because I did actually have a game where they also scooped game 2, so we'll have 2 game 1s against separate decks that scoop to us doing our thing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, then it's very important that you hit that like button and subscribe as well. Lets me know what kind of content you're interested in seeing, as well as helping the channel along. So I greatly appreciate anyone who decides to do so. If you want to get notifications as well when new videos go live on the channel, there is a little bell icon next to the subscription button. If you tag that, it'll give you little pop-ups on your phones and on your YouTube apps and things like that. So yeah, if you want to stay in the loop, go right ahead. But other than that, guys, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.